My name is Fatiyah Hazimah, and I am Palestinian Canadian Muslim immigrant in Canada. I started with Palestinian because my story starts when I was driven out from my homeland, Palestine. I was born in Acre, but when we left Acre, I was very, very young. But the memory of that day sticks in my mind. It's very, very painful memory. I try to remember as much as I could from that day. It was 1948, and the Israeli were in Palestine. You know, they have this atrocities, the terrorism, and it was war, but unequal war. So I am one of 10. My family is 10 people. My mother was so worried that after hearing about the massacre in Deir Yassin, massacre committed by the Ghada, you know, and the people, the Israelis, who want to drive out, scare the Palestinians and force them to leave. So my mom was one of this. She said, no way, I'm not going to stay here. So they're going to come and kill us. And so my father, he said, it looks like we don't have a choice. I want to send you back to the closest Arab country. We went to Lebanon. That day, it's really very, very bad memory. I was playing with my neighbor, and my mother, I have a newborn brother, maybe 40 days. So she was carrying him and going around the house. She wants to pick things to take with us, you know. My dad said, no room, you can't, because we're going to go by boat. So all what you can do is just take some bundles. So she was going around the house. Everything is precious and everything she can't take. My sister tried to help her, and it was chaos in the house. So I went to my our neighbor, and I was trying to play with my friend. So my father said, come on, Fatiyah, we have to leave. You play with your friend when you come back. I looked at him, I said, no. So could it be this infancy tuition? What could it be? So anyway, I went up to see my mom crying, my sisters, everybody with bundles, and so my father took us to the boat on the shore, and we used to have an old lady who used to come and help my mom. She begged my father to let her on the boat with us because she doesn't have anybody. So it was about late evening, maybe. We went all in that small boat, and I remember my father gave us lots of lemon because for the seasick, and of course he didn't want to come. He said, I'm staying here to guard the house waiting for you. You're going to come back in 3 months or so. So the sea was so rough, and the ride was very, very hard. Everybody crying. My mother is crying. She left the house, right? She doesn't know where are other brothers and sisters. I have a brother who his leg was broken. We didn't have the time or the chance to go and get him, so he stayed behind. My grandmother was kind of bedridden, so she has to be lifted, and of course she's priority. You know, in our culture, grandparents and they have special importance. So we have to take care of her, put her on the boat. Wherever you look, it was miserable. So maybe midnight, I don't know. I can't remember the time exactly. So maybe say 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. The captain said, look, the boat is very heavy. You have to lighten up the load, throw some of your belongings, because we might sink. All of us might drown. So what do we have? Our belongings? It's bundles, just this bundles of it. My mother has this bundle, carrying this bundle. When he said so, she was, of course, crying. She left her hands to throw the bundle that she's carrying. This old lady, the one who came with us, snatched the bundle. That was my brother. Snatched the bundle from her and so my sister took this and kept it close to her heart, so my mother didn't touch the bundle after this. And well, my brother, this one, he's an ophthalmologist now. Yeah, yeah. So maybe it was until dawn we got to Sidon, Lebanon, and we have some families. They were really, really nice, very hospitable. They took us, and they offered, the hospitality. And until 2 days, my father has a friend in Lebanon, so we went to his house and arranged for us to stay there. So we were lucky enough not to go to a tent, or otherwise we could have ended up in the camp. But we were lucky enough not to go there, because my father's friend, and he sent him, correspondence. So we managed to stay in that city for 2 years, and then after this we went to Beirut, Lebanon. So we stayed there, went to school, went to university. As Palestinian, we always have this feeling that we're not settled. It's not home. Like my father said, I'm not coming because I'm planning to die under the tree in the garden of my grandfather, whatever. To force him to come, my mother sent my brother, who was 12 years old, sent him to Palestine alone with some friends. So my father was in the market or something, and here we go, he sees my brother. So that's the way that to force him to come back with him. So that was a tactic from my mother to make my father, otherwise he doesn't want to come. So he came, and we stayed in Lebanon for a while. Like every Palestinian family, you see, you are displaced. You don't know that you are settling somewhere. We are always, our eyes on Palestine. We're going to go back. So it's temporary. Like now 67 years, and we look at it as temporary. We're still going to go back. Our hope, and hopefully, by God wills, we will do that. So we went to Libya. Stayed 3 years there. I got my education, my high school, came back to Lebanon. No, I went to Egypt to go to university. I couldn't take it. I felt homesick. I went back to my mother, and we came back to Beirut, Lebanon. I took journalism by correspondence. After this, I taught in UNRWA. That's the school for the Palestinians. So I was teaching in the morning. In the evening, I used to go to university. until I graduated, got married, went to Saudi Arabia. 3 years there, my husband got scholarship, we came to Canada. And we came for 5 years, and now multiply it. So, but still, Canada is nice place, safe, but nothing can take your feeling. This attachment. Like anytime if I hear any anthem, I have tears in my eyes. I didn't live to be in my homeland to see this, take pride in my anthem. Always, until now. And until now I have this fear from the sea. That memory, no way I can go to any sea trip or anything. It still has its effect on me. So we came to Canada. Of course, I have my 4 children, and I taught all my children that we are Canadian, okay, but we are Palestinian first, and taught them the history. Once when we came, in Newfoundland, Labrador, I want them to have pride always that we are Palestinian, yeah? So it was a festival, and I dressed them all in Arabic Palestinian things, and they went on the truck. It was very bad experience for them. Why? Because the people on the sides, they were telling them, go home. Can you believe it? We want to go home. Help us to go home. Yeah, I mean, there is lots of this stereotype. Sometimes you find it, and it hurts. But we are survival. We have a right. We feel strong. Nothing can get us down. We are strong, and we know one of these days we're going to have our land. I'm not saying that we're going to throw Israel in the sea, but might doesn't make it right. We have right. We have someday be back to our home, our land. So all my children, they have in the school, their social studies project was about Palestine. Yeah, so, and I always try to, whenever I go, I'm peace activist actually. I try to say, we have to be fair, justice. Peace without justice, this nonsense. We need justice, we need peace, but peace with justice. There is no something, okay, we'll give them this little bit of land here. Imagine you have your own house and somebody will kick you on the porch and tell you that's all what you can, and sometimes you can't have the porch. What is this? And I have an observation about when they say the Nakba. I have observation about this. When you say Nakba, it's like tsunami. Nakba is catastrophe, right? Tsunami is catastrophe, right? Earthquake, it is catastrophe. But what happened in 48, it was a catastrophe. It was a crime. It's a crime. Because, they don't say the Holocaust is catastrophe, although it was a crime, and we didn't do it, and we pay for it. Right? We don't agree with it, but we are paying for it. They don't say 9/11, it was a catastrophe, it was a crime. And that was the same thing for the Palestinians when they were driven out of their land to be replaced from Jews from all over the world. Everybody has the right to go there, but we, the Palestinians who were born there, you can't. Like when I took the Canadian citizenship, I went with my husband and my son to visit first time Palestine. And I went to Acre. I couldn't remember anything, and I felt my chest was so heavy, because you feel this, like I'm not stranger. I belong to this place, but I was driven out of it. You know, we have a friend, my father's relative. I told him, please take me to our house where I was born. So he went to the neighborhood. He kept asking me, do you remember? Is this the one? Is it? I say, no, I don't know. Until after maybe 15 minutes in the neighborhood, he said, does this ring any bell? Big door like this. I said, maybe. So he said, that's your house. So I went up. It was so hard. It was 3 families living in that like each floor, and they were really, really nice. She said, one of them, she told me, dear, we are guests here. Anytime you have the key because they were Arab, you know. Anytime you come back, the house is yours. And I was looking at the house, getting old, and I felt like some kind of sadness. I remember a little bit my father here, just faint memories, but I cried. I couldn't continue to go to the second floor, and I cried and I left. It was really, really hard. There is another place, my aunt's house. They won't let us visit it. They took it. They say that's for the government. It was in very nice neighborhood and very nice house. They say you're not allowed.
Where is this village?
That's Akka, Acre,
Yeah.
Akka.
Where is
North of Palestine.
Okay.
So this is when I went to visit in '92, and I say, next time when I come back to this land, I hope it's going to be real mine again. So that was very, very bad memory again. So, but we can't concentrate on the bad thing. We are hopeful people. We know we have the will, we have right, and one of these days we're going to get what we're. Because they say, well, the old people will die and the small one will forget. They are very, very wrong about that. Every Palestinian house, their children, they are, they know about Palestine. They have this attachment. They're ready to take the torch from generation to generation. It's not going to die. This goes, survived. Palestine is the only place colonized in our time now, in the whole world. There is no occupation. The whole world, only Palestine. So our children, our grandchildren, they know that. And hopefully by God's will, peace, the just peace will win. When we came here, since we came, I try to, like I told you, 4 of my children, their social study project was about Palestine. So what I like to do always, just to remove this stigma about the Palestinians. They are, terrorists or whatever. It's just, we have a cause. We have a just cause. I go to volunteer in schools and any function. I try to explain this. We want peace, but we want just peace. Yeah. So this is one of my main activities, really. Involvement anywhere I go, I just explain about the Palestinians. We are survivors. We have our weapons is learning. You see, the Palestinians, the family, you can go to a Palestinian family of 10, you see maybe 7, 8 university graduate. Why? Because we know that that's our weapon. That's how we can survive. We are survivors, and we can go all the way on this road. It's very important. And we keep just explaining. We want people to understand us, because ignorance is, everybody's enemy, right? And if somebody is ignorant, he'll become racist. But when you talk to somebody and explain, they sympathize with you. Understanding is the key. And just put, racism and empty talk like this aside. I find really, really good feedback from the people I talk to, really. So I plan to continue doing that. Whenever I go, I just, I am Palestinian. Look, I have my Palestinian necklace. So this is inviting people. What's that? That's Palestine. That's my homeland, And here I go and I talk about Palestine. I talk about our rights. I talk about how we are misunderstood. And whatever happened to us can't be justified. No way. Anyone who's with conscience will say that we have a right, just cause. And we have to get this right. We can't be under democracy and human rights, just talk, fake talk, double standards. And I'm always almost successful when I talk with people. And I'll never stop, and my children do the same. Yeah. That's my involvement. Before I was more active, but now it's before I had Palestinian Women Association, and I had a magazine, and we talk about the Palestinian community. We have culture, we have heritage, we are rich nation. We do, but these circumstances, they are trying to suffocate us, and stigmatize everything the Palestinians do, because there is double standard. And like I said, whoever listens to what we are saying agrees with us. It's not, we didn't drop from the moon. We were born, this is our land.
Yeah.
We have history. Yeah. And I'll keep trying to do that, always. My children say, Mama, all what you need is just carry the flag of Palestine and go around, so you'll be known as Palestinian. I say, yeah, I'm proud to do that. I am Canadian, I'm Palestinian Canadian. I'm happy that I am here, but I am Palestinian first. Yeah.